Hey guys, this is lesson 4.2 for pre-algebra. 4.2 is titled Exponents. So in your notes, title your paper Exponents. Now there's three main key words in this lesson. So what I want you to copy down is this. So if you look at this, whenever you see 2 to the 6th power, the 2 is the base. So that is the base number. I always think it's base. It's on the ground. It's on the bottom. So that's the base. And then the exponent is the little number up on the top that tells you how many times to multiply the base. The whole entire thing is called a power. So the expression 2 to the 6th is read as 2 to the 6th power. So the power goes with everything. Depending on the situation, you may decide to communicate an idea using either a power or the value of a power. So it all depends, but sometime later on in your life, you might actually use where you have an exponent in a very large number. If you're in science, they use them a ton for distances from the earth to the moon or different things like that. So make sure you have that written down, this example. Now, they may ask you to write it out. When they ask you to write it out, they want it to look like this. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 6 times. And then if they ask you to find the answer, then that would just be the 64. So, write using exponents. So letter A, I'm sure you can do, so try that really quickly. All right, so what you should have written is 6 to the 3rd power. It didn't ask you to simplify or find the answer. It just said write using exponents, so that's it. Now, in this lesson, it goes a little bit farther than what you've probably done in the past, and it includes variables. So how you do that is you write down your letter or your numbers, so you have 4. And then you look at your letters, okay? So I have 1x, so I'm just going to put my 1x. And then I have 2 y's, so that's y squared. So my total answer is 4xy squared. So try C really quickly. All right, so this would be -2. I'm going to write my number down. I have 3 a's, so it's a to the 3rd power and then times b. So that is it for writing using exponents. Pretty simple. Now it says a microscope can magnify a specimen 10 to the 3rd times. How many times is that? So 10 to the 3rd power is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. So like I was saying before, in science, they use this terminology all the time. So right now in your notebook, try these 2 quick check problems, and then we will go over them. All right, so this one's pretty simple. 7 squared is just 49. So that's it. This one's a little bit trickier. Notice I have 2 -a to the 4th power. This is negative, and then it's a to the 4th. This is the whole thing -a, and then that whole thing to the 4th power. So when you're doing this, you're going to have 2 different answers. -a to the 4th, if a is 2, then I would do -2 to the 4th, which means a negative 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. I keep my negative sign and I get -16. This second one is -a, all in parentheses, to the 4th power. So that means -2, because that would be the a, times -2 times -2 times -2. A negative times a negative would be a +4. And then this negative times this negative is +4, and 4 times 4 is +16. So, in your notes, you really just need to write down PEMDAS. What they want you to remember is we did the order of operations in the past chapters, but just remember that the E stands for exponents. Notice they have this highlighted. Simplify any terms with exponents. So just remember that you start with parentheses, then you do exponents, and then multiplication and division from left to right, and addition and subtraction from left to right. So just put that in your notes. All right, so here's two problems. Try these, and then we will go over them. You might get them wrong, and it's totally fine. This is just for practice. All right, so for this one, I'm going to do my exponents first. So I'm going to do 5 squared, which is 25, and negative 3 to the third power, which is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, times negative 3 is negative 27. So I do my powers first, and then I rewrite the entire problem. So I go down here and I write 2 times 25 plus 4 times negative 27. So you have to show your work. Notice how much work I'm showing. Okay, these require a lot of work to be shown. So now I'm going to do my multiplication. 2 times 25 is 50, plus 4 times negative 27. So I'm going to do 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, and then that's negative. So it's negative 108. So 50 plus negative 108 is negative 58. The next one is 3a squared plus 6. So I'm going to do 3 times negative 5 squared. I just plugged in negative 5 right in there for a. It's the only thing I changed, plus 6. Oh, I did add my multiplication symbol too. 3 times, now negative 5 squared is just negative 5 times negative 5, which is 25. So it's 3 times 25 plus 6. 3 times 25 is 75, plus 6 is 81. All right, that is it for your notes.